Hi, I'm the Red Rodent, and today we are going to talk about Spider-Man's foes. Spider-Man has one of the most famous rogues galleries in all of Marvel Comics. The question is, who is the most terrifying? A few weeks ago, I put a poll down and I had Spider-Man's horrifying enemies as one of the options on the board. And because I did not discuss any of this earlier, because I had spent so much time away from the channel, I'm doing a few videos to make up for it. And one of the first ones I'm doing is to make a Spider-Man ranking video of all the enemies. So let's get to it. First up, we have the Chameleon. He may not look fully terrifying now. To an extent, he looks like a terrorist. What makes him so possibly horrifying is the fact that the masks that he uses often have the ability to turn into someone else. He has masks that he morphs into different shapes, and specifically, he turns them into different people. He can hide inside any organization because he is a master spy with these masks. Mostly, I'm gonna put this in scary tier. It's not the most horrifying thing you could see in a Spider-Man comic, but it is pretty terrifying. Vulture. This is so humorous. I mean, little feathers, the mane of sorts, like the stuff around the Vulture's beak, head. What the hell? I know this exists in real life for real vultures, but this is just ridiculous. Doc Ock. Doc Ock's outfit looks like a fat man trying to cosplay the Green Giant. And then because he needs a diaper, a belt, and a cape for some reason, he decides to have a bunch of yellow. And in addition to that, so that way it's a coordinating color scheme, he has boots and yellow that are imprinted upon it to make it look better. His robotic tentacles can choke people to death, but some people would be pretty into it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, this one's just cheesy. Sandman. Ooh. Well, Sandman, he has the ability to turn into sand. And I'm just gonna pull up this panel because it shows how deadly he could be if he wanted to. So, in his universe, the Sandman, friends of the Sinister Six, were killed by a zombie Spider-Man. As a result, when he saw another Spider-Man that he thought was the zombie, he went into his body. Yes, like another kink, but he went into his body, choked him up, ate it, and forces his innards out, killing him. And you just going to eradicate it. Enter this in, so I don't have to do that later. That's horrifying. Why doesn't he do more with it? I don't know. Mysterio. Sure, he may have a fish dome bowl, which can look ridiculous. The green, the gold, the purple definitely looks like a costume that you'd find out of a basement dweller's hidden lair. But his ability and his technology can make him a lot more terrifying than what it seems. And similar to the Transformers, there's more than meets the eye. Mysterio can create illusions that in most cases go beyond people's ordinary senses. In the case of Spider-Man, he has tricked him on several occasions and forced him into facing his own demons. Daredevil, when he fought against Daredevil in the Guardian Devil storyline written by Kevin Smith, which, if any of you have seen Clerks or any of his or if you've seen any of his other works, you know who Kevin Smith is. And in here, he turned into a doctor and told Karen Page, who is Daredevil's love interest, that she has AIDS. Then he turned into a priest. And he told Matt Murdock, who's Daredevil's secret identity, that a baby is a devil, like the spawn of Satan. And In addition to this, he had the connections to hire Bullseye and have him kill Karen Page, ruining his life. In Old Man Logan, his illusions were so realistic that he tricked Wolverine into killing all of the other X-Men. Hided their scents, their voices, their appearances, everything. I'm going pretty cool and scary for that one. Kraven the Hunter. He's a peak physical specimen. He has the guns, he has the spears, he has the animalistic instincts and power to destroy. It could be a good horror movie, but he mostly prefers to attack his enemies in an all-out, not in a sneaky way, stealth way. Next, Electro. He can burn his opponents with electric strikes and charge them in and out like a phone. But he looks more like a star than Starro. And Starro's a giant starfish. You just look at his mask. Yeesh. He's cheesy. Lizard. Lizard has sharp claws. He has sharp teeth. He has a tail. He has a tail that could probably grapple people to the side, to the streets. But over the years, Dr. Kurt Connors, which is the Lizard's civilian name, a guy who originally made a serum to cure his missing arm and later turned into that. He's managed to gain some control of the beast to the point of, well, the Lizard in most cases isn't even monstrous anymore. However, it did eat his son in an accident before he cloned him back. Yeah, this is same logic as Mysterio, where they could have done more, but they don't. Rhino. He's a guy in a rhino suit. What can I say? Embarrassing. He doesn't even have a major story. He's an anti-hero at this point. Shaka! Well, he just uses concussive blasts. And he has fishnets on a yellow background. What the heck? Kingpin. He's the biggest criminal. No, and actually the Slug is. But in Marvel Comics, he is one of the biggest criminals. Not because of fat, but because of over 300 pounds of pure muscle. Which a lot of people would probably want, but there are side effects to it. Anywho, what makes him so intriguing to most viewers in the Daredevil show, in some of the cartoons, or media, or other forms of media, especially comic books, is not because of his size, but also because of his criminalistic tendencies in working with and controlling the criminal underworld of New York City. He can destroy the weaker man, not just physically, but also psychologically. He has the resources to slaughter someone's entire family, or to steal their most powerful artifacts. In terms of durability, he has tanked blasts from Doctor Doom. For those of you who don't know, Doctor Doom is a sorcerer and leader of a fictional nation known as Latveria, who has been known for some of the most powerful feats in all of comic book history. And this guy just threw him off a building. Yeah, he's in the same category as Mysterio. No, now that I reevaluated, Lizard ate his own kid, so he's horrifying. Morbius. He's a vampire guy. To be honest, though, the more terrifying thing is this movie. I mean, Jared Leto on its own is already a bad sign for a superhero movie. Yeah, he's just jump scare. Jackal. A furry, screaming, crying baby. With weird ears and teeth that he never actually uses. This is okay. He clones some people, but that's mostly because he's a perv. Black Cat. Not horrifying, but she's hot. Hydra Man. Same logic as Sandman. He never uses those abilities in that extent, but he could. Hobgoblin. Ooh. This guy is practically the same as the Green Goblin, which... Alright, I probably should have mentioned that earlier, but Hobgoblin. He's a knockoff Green Goblin whose face actually looks more horrifying, but he doesn't do as much. He goes to cheesy. Speaking of Green Goblin, he is somewhat horrifying, or at least ridiculous in terms of his costume, but similar to the Joker, he is just a madman who will do anything, especially, and in some cases killed his kids in order to get what he wants. In most cases, power and the destruction of Spider-Man. Venom. We are Venom. He is a symbiote alien that, if he does not eat others, then he will consume you. And by you, I mean if you're a user of a symbiote, he will eat you alive. But it's still not as scary as his alternative, which is Carnage. Venom's pretty bad. He eats a lot of people. He can rip people's limbs off. He is the ultimate anti-hero. But Carnage? He'll just do that stuff for fun. He doesn't even have any use for it. He just does it because he's sick and demented. It's a crazy symbiote that's connected to a serial killer. Two bad influences in one stream. This is called the Prowler. Some variations say Aaron Davis, others say Hobie Brown. Either case, he's a technologically based guy with clawed hands, bunch of different technological hacks, and he's mostly a cat thief. Which, and in some cases with invisibility gear, so he's a jump scare. Borlun, he is an energy vampire who can steal the soul energy of anyone. But he can be powerful, but it's not exactly major enough to be terrifying. Mr. Negative. For anyone watching this, no, this is not blackface. This is his skin. This is his skin. He was connected to the dark force and some other energy source that gave him the ability to not only turn black with corrupted energy, but also heal and create destructive beams. He is somewhat similar to Kingpin in using a donation fund to create some of his goons, but he's not really terrifying. The Thinker. This guy is known as the Tinkerer. He may seem like an ordinary old man, but in reality, he builds mechanical robots and a bunch of other nonsense to hunt down Spider-Man. He created a few of the suits for each of these characters as well. He's cheesy. He's not exactly ridiculous, but he's not exactly terrifying. This guy is known as the Spot, or Dr. Jonathan Ohms. If you've seen the recent Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, you will know him from there. He is ridiculous. He is, well, not actually, he's like more cheesy, but his portal ability, after a fusion reactor messed up his innards and turned him into a living portal device, that can possibly be terrifying, but not enough to be more terrifying than any of the other kids. Beetle, or Abner Jenkins, originally looked like this. He is a more advanced version of the Vulture, with missiles that he can shoot out of his stuff, similar to Iron Man. However, he changed his gig around. He later joined Baron Zemo and his Masters of Evil, and eventually he decided to turn his life around and become a hero. Originally turning to this, and later developing his design over and over throughout the years until he turns into a full-on hero. As a result, you get Mach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. He's cheesy. Not exactly bad, but not exactly great. Boomerang. Originally, this guy is a much more serious version of Captain Boomerang. Throws around boomerangs and serves as an assassin to kill anyone. And he used to be a Hulk villain a lot. But he's been revealed to be a lot more goofy. He's been revealed to be just a standout guy who likes hanging out with his friends. A lot of people in this cheesy section. Hammerhead. He's the Kingpin, but his head has steel instead of fat and muscle. Tombstone. This motherfucker is pretty serious. You may see on the outside just an average albino, but in reality he's cutthroat. He's powerful, and he's durable. He's similar to Kingpin in terms of durability, but besides that, though, he also has an incredible and influential network, and this guy refuses to let go of crushes. He spent well, not crushes, but grudges. He spent over 60 years working on a grudge against Randy Robertson's father. Yeah, you're pretty scary. Sin Eater. This guy looks like the average guy I'd find at a Trump rally, but the purpose of him is that he's a serial killer who, in certain cases, steals the souls of others and steals the sins of others. Average, okay. Shriek. She can scream at loud decibels. Cheesy. Swarm. First off, he's a Nazi. Fucking Nazis. Which already makes him okay at worst. Because Nazis are one of the most evil groups that have existed in human history. But then you turn him into a being of sentient bees that can go inside of people and rip them apart. What the fuck were they thinking? Speed Demon. He's a speedster. He can run pretty fast, and if he's lucky, he can drag someone around and just rip their flesh off. Jump scare, because he doesn't use this a lot. He just messes with people antagonistically. And Scorpion. His body is a mix of spandex and metal. And he's a hired killer, assassin, and detective. There isn't much else to him. And his costume's pretty cheesy, and he doesn't use this stuff enough, so that's it. That is every Spider-Man villain ranked in terms of how cool or terrifying they are. Hope you have a great day, everyone, and see you later. Bye.